Edwards.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Samantha Sprague, Pete, 1931, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ronald Edwards. He's not here. If you'd like to take a default, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, we do show that currently there is past due rent in the amount of $4,999, as well as court costs in the amount of $239.72, for a total due and owing of $5,238.72. To the best of my knowledge, the unit was kept fit and habitable for its intended purpose. The defendant is not a minor, nor in the military, nor otherwise incapable of attending today's hearing. We would respectfully request a default judgment as to possession only, as I do show that this was a posted service.
Yes. Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issued in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day. We'll see you this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was it. Okay. Yes, we will. All right. Take care. Haverhill on Clark versus Sylvia, a Mary Brewer.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
Good morning. Do we have them?
No, not.
Mary Brewer. They are not here. If you'd like to take a default, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. At this point, due to the defendant's lack of appearance, a plaintiff moves for a default judgment for possession. Rent to retain is currently $3,854. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170, for a total redemptive amount of $4,024. We would be seeking a writ to issue on May 4th, 2026. No money judgment is entered, and to my knowledge, the defendant is not a minor, incapacitated, or in the military. And then, to my knowledge, the unit has been kept fit for its intended use and purpose, and in compliance with the local health and safety codes. That was a mouthful.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Haverhill on Clark versus Eric Britton.
Hello, Judge. Good morning, Judge.
And good morning, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
All right. Good morning. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Plaintiff is alleging $899.90 in arrears due and owing through the end of this month. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170, for a total redemptive amount of $1,069.90.
$1,069
and 90 cents. 90.
90 cents. Okay. Thank you. All right. And how are you intending on getting that paid?
I've been paying all month, so I just gotta. I'm doing Uber Eats right now. It'll be paid by the rest of the month. Can I explain just a little bit briefly to you, so you know why I'm behind?
Well, I don't. I'll go ahead if you want briefly.
Yeah, my security deposit, it was moved out of my rent balance at the end of February, so I had to pay like $1,500 on top of my $1,300 rent in March. So that's just what put me a little behind, but I'll be back caught up before May starts.
Before May 1st?
Yes. I owe $900 currently.
Okay, well, you owe that plus costs, so you owe about $1,070 right now.
To the court, or?
No, that's all to the plaintiff, all to your landlord.
Oh, all right.
All right. So within, say, this next week, how much can you get paid? How much can you get? Yeah.
7 days. 800.
Okay, so you can get 800 sometime this week. I'm just going to put by the 30th. Okay. Now the problem is going to be is that your May rent's going to click in.
Yeah.
Okay, so your balance, you're going to pay part of this, but then your balance is going to kick back up by the time we come back for the next hearing.
Right.
Okay. And counsel, I don't have another date until May 8th. I'm not here on the 1st for second hearings. So I'm going to have to adjourn this to May 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. Sir, that's an in-person hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to get the 800 in and then whatever else you can get in, and then we'll come back and we'll figure out where we are and see what we can do on this. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. And I will note that my manager with Haverhill is also in the Zoom gallery in case any of the defendants have any questions or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right. You do the same. Oh, just give me
Yeah, there are some people on at 8:30 your next day.
one of them. Haverhill on Clark versus Jail Brewer.
Good morning, Ronnie Haddad for the plaintiff.
They are not checked in. Brewer. Okay, the only thing I'd indicate, counsel, I'll let you proceed with the default. I do have information from Hawk that they were waiting on employer verification to determine their eligibility for assistance. But I would let you proceed with the default in this case.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Plaintiff does move for a default judgment for possession. Currently, rent to retain is $2,606. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $2,776 due and owing through the end of April. We would be seeking a writ date of 5/4/2026. No money judgment is entered. And to my knowledge, the defendant is not a minor, incapacitated, or in the military. I would just ask my client with Haverhill if they are aware or if they have received any correspondence or communication from Hawk as to what amount would be they were willing to cover.
They probably, counsel, I might be able to answer that. They probably have not, only because this is the beginning stages, from my understanding, where they're getting information from the tenant to determine whether or not they're eligible.
Okay.
So they probably haven't reached out to the landlord at this point.
Okay, and then my question to the court, Your Honor, in this event, although we are entitled to a default judgment, if the defendant was to file something and indicate that they are working with Hawk, would the court be inclined to set the default judgment aside with proof?
It depends on how they would do that. What I might do is, rather than set the judgment aside, if it looks like funding is coming through, I may hold off on signing the writ to give them time or something along those lines.
That's fair. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Haverhill on Clark versus Jennifer Carthage.
Good morning, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
Jennifer Carthage. There she is. Okay, hello. All right. How much is owing on, what is plaintiff's claim?
Yes, Judge. I'm showing rent to retain currently in the amount of $2,510. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total of $2,680.
I wonder why is it the 2,000? Because on my paper it said 14.
All right, your paper, you mean on the notice that you received for court?
Yes, it said 1410. Why is it?
Okay,
25?
and if you look at the date that was signed, that only takes you through March.
Okay.
So April's now up due.
Okay. But I wanted to know where the other 1,000 came from.
I'm sorry?
The other 1,000, where did that come from?
What's your monthly rent?
It's my
Your
monthly
monthly
rent
rent's
is
about
13.
$1,300.
Yeah.
So at the end of March, you owed $1,441 according to the complaint. Your monthly rent is about $1,300. That's going to take you around $2,750. And I'm assuming there might be a payment in there. So that's good. That April is what brings the number up, man.
Okay.
That is correct, Your Honor. It looks like there was a payment on April 2nd, 2026, but before that payment, there was, let me see, actually. My ledger is very light. I'm not really sure if I don't want to make any misrepresentations to the court, but
No,
there was a payment made, and then that brought the balance to 2,400 and, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Judge, I cannot read it. And then April late fees, and so that brought the balance to 2,510, which does not include the attorney fees and costs. And I mean, this is going to be in adjournment anyway. If the defendant has any questions, she's obviously more than welcome to go to management and have a conversation about.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
All right.
I also I filled out for DHS too, because I currently lost my job, so I'm trying to figure that out too.
Okay.
My job
So here's the
closed.
thing. Between now and the next date, you don't have anything you think you can pay. Is that correct?
Well, my next check won't come until next week on Wednesday. Well,
All right.
so it come Wednesday night, so I won't have anything till like Thursday.
Okay, that's fine. So that's the 30th. How much do you think you can pay?
I could pay 1,000.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. So I'm gonna put that you're gonna pay that 1,000 by the 30th. I'm gonna adjourn your case out to May 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Okay.
Okay, you said
What?
May 8th.
Go ahead.
May 8th.
Yeah, May 8th. That's 2 Fridays from today. Okay.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is, what you can do is you can get to the management, try to see what you can work out, if anything. What I'm also going to suggest you do, have you called Hawk? Or,
No, I just filled out for DHS and I have an appointment on the 27th with them.
Okay, so you filled out something for state emergency relief?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, just so that you know, how many people are in your unit?
Just me.
Just you? All right. So that would be about $400. $410 is the most that they're going to pay on that.
Okay.
So don't think it's the name is a bad name when they say state emergency relief, because it sounds like they might cover everything. That's not going to happen. Okay.
Mhm.
So I say that so that people don't think that that's out there. What I would like you to do though is to contact Hawk. Do you have that phone number?
I can look it up.
Oh, well, why don't I give it to you? You got something to write with?
Yeah.
Because by the time you look it up, you'll forget to call. And then I'll be staring at you asking why you didn't call.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Here's the number. It's 734 961
Okay.
1999.
Okay.
Okay. So call them. Now, one other thing. In your packet, there's a rental assistance form. Okay. You need to fill that out and put particularly your DHS tracking number that you have on that form and submit that to the court by Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If I may, I don't mean to interrupt the court. I'm glad that the court actually brought this, shed some light on this. I just want to manage the defendant's expectations. I did hear her say that she's currently unemployed. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't start my next job until the end of the month.
Okay, so I just wanted to manage the expectations, Your Honor, because unfortunately the caveat to state emergency relief, even though it is deceiving, the title, the name state emergency relief, is that the defendant has to be working, has to have some type of income coming in, otherwise she wouldn't qualify. That is the caveat.
No, she said, right.
my
She
job
said
closed.
that hold on.
Okay.
She said that she was going to start a new job.
Right.
So they're going to, both Hawk and DHS would be making a sustainability determination. So I don't worry about that. But my understanding is she was starting a new job.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. So we'll see you, May 8th, 1 p.m.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Haverhill on Clark versus, is it Tyler Jackson? Probably pronounced that wrong.
Good morning, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
Oh, there she is. Trying to get unmuted. Just relax. You get unmuted. We'll wait a little bit. Nope, you're not unmuted.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning. All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Plaintiff is alleging $3,127 in rent to retain attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total of $3,297.
All right. All right, Ms. Jackson, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Yeah, so I've been just paying every 2 weeks as I get paid $1,000 for the last 2 months. I've been trying to catch up that way. I've also reached out to DHS as well. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. It's been about a week.
All right, let's break that apart a little bit. How many people are in your unit?
2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that you know, DHS, that's going to be about $520 that they cover. Okay?
Anything helps.
No, I'm with you. I just want to make sure that you understood that. Okay? So that's the first thing. And then you can pay $1,000. When can you pay that by, you think?
Yeah, so I can pay that by next Friday.
By the 1st?
Yes.
Okay, so pay that to the landlord on the 1st.
Okay.
Okay. Your monthly rent is around $853.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be, I guess we'll be staying steady is best way to kind of put it. Okay. So with the DHS, you need to fill out the form that's in your packet called a rental assistance form. File that with the court by next Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. What I also want you to do then also is call Hawk. Okay.
Okay.
And see whether or not you can get some assistance to get yourself sort of to ground zero so that then you can catch yourself up. Okay. That balance has to be under 3,000 by the time that they pay. Okay. So, let's do this. I'll adjourn it out to May 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Okay?
Okay, 1 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am. Do you have Hawk's number?
Yes.
All right. So give them a call right away so you can get yourself in line and get an appointment and see what your eligibility might be. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. You have a great day.
You as well.
Judge, I must add that I'm thoroughly impressed by Your Honor's knowledge of the amounts that are covered by DHS. I might have to call the court and ask, in my other cases in different districts.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think any other judge. I don't think any other judge is aware of any formula or whatever that's used by DHS to calculate the amounts that are covered.
Gosh. What's that, Ann? I'm brilliant? That's why? No, I'm kidding. Here's what I'll do. We have a chart here, and I'll just have my staff send that over to you.
Okay, that sounds good. I appreciate that.
Right? Okay. Haverhill on Clark versus Kristen Russell.
Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
And I think he's here. There he is.
Hello,
Mr. Russell.
Hello.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, it looks like this is just a residual balance of $114. That does not include the attorney fees and costs of $170. So he does have a total of $284 with the attorney fees and costs. This is a situation where if he just pays off the balance of $114, we'd be inclined to dismiss the case.
Sir?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. When do you think you can get this paid?
Well, probably in the next couple months. I did have an unexpected medical test that wasn't covered by insurance. So that's what got me backed up. but my previous balance was paid off through, I think, SOS Community Services.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you've already used Hawk and got that paid off. And so now you're in a situation, are you currently working or?
I'm on disability, fixed income.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Your monthly rent going forward,
Uh-huh.
are you going to be able to get that covered or?
Yeah, I have been able to pay, I think I don't know if it's 2 or 3 months. I have been paying, but there was I guess paperwork snafu between the landlord and RPI management who hold my Section 8. And
Gotcha.
yeah, it took a while to get that completed. So.
Okay. So what's your monthly portion, sir? $279?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. With the circumstances that you're in, you've got to get this back balance paid, but it sounds like to me you're going to be trying to pay that in addition to what your monthly rent is.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay. So what I'm going to adjourn this out to May 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir. Okay.
Okay.
But in the interim, why don't you contact management or the attorney's office and see what type of, if you can just cover this in the next, like you said, 2 months. Sounds like in your mind, you kind of worked it out as to how you can get this cleared.
Yes.
See if you can work that out. They can do a conditional order dismissal and be done with it. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Haverhill and Clark versus Myra South.
Good morning, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
She's here. Oh, did she disappear?
Hi.
There she is.
I'm here. Hi, Your Honor. Good morning.
Hello, Miss South. How are you?
Whew, I've been better. Not
Okay.
great, but I'm here.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim? Let's see where we are.
Yes, Judge. I'm showing rent to retain in the amount of $5,995.78. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total redemptive amount in the amount of $6,165.78. I do need to note for the record, Your Honor, that it has just come to my attention that there are some damage charges that might be assessed before the next hearing date for some damages caused by the defendant's, I believe it's the defendant's son. I just wanted her to be aware of that because this number that I am stating on the record is likely to change at the next hearing.
Okay. All right, Miss South. What happened? When do you think you can try to get this paid? I mean, what do you have in mind?
So, Your Honor, this has been a long process. It originated when I lost my job back in November. Long story short, I've been working recently with Friends Indeed, the Disability Network, and who else? And then, so I applied for help through, it's called Men's and Women's Working for a Change, as well as Ypsilanti Thrift Store, to see if they can help because Hawk would not pay or will not help until the balance is under or 3,000 and under. I've been making monthly payments of about $2,000. So I mean, I still plan on paying my payments every month. I make a payment of the rent itself by the 5th, and then I make an additional payment of $350 on the 25th. So it's just been a work in process. I just got another job. I'm going through that. I'm waiting on my fingerprints and everything to be sent off because for my massage license. So I'm
All right.
praying that I'll get my job within the next
Okay.
month.
South. South.
Yes.
I got you, and I realize I asked an open-ended question. All right, do me
I
a
know,
favor.
and I will keep going. I'm stressed.
I know, it's okay.
You're gonna hear it all.
I was hearing everything you said. Just take a breath, okay? It sounds like you're trying to get yourself through this. It sounds like there may be some other charges coming. We'll deal with that, but let's figure out how we can at least try to see a way to get you to ground zero if we can. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So the first thing is in the packet, there is a rental assistance form.
Yes, sir.
You need to fill that out, get that to the court by this Wednesday upcoming. All right. With that information. All right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And then I'm going to adjourn it out to May 8th, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing.
Yes, sir.
So now, by that point in time, you said you pay what, $2,000 or what's your rent on the 5th?
So I pay my actual rent by the 5th, and then I pay an addition of $350 every 25th. So by that time, I'm gonna pay my payment tomorrow, and then I'll have Meg's rent paid by the 5th. So it will be done by the time I see you.
You're
So
on
let me just go ahead.
I think she's referring to a previous conditional dismissal. So she has to understand that conditional dismissal, although we did not file, I believe we are under new management. We have a new property manager. So the previous property manager did not keep up with all of those. So we weren't able to reinstate the case. So we had to file a new case instead. So the previous agreement pursuant to the conditional dismissal has now expired. And so now we are in court for this new balance. So whatever payment arrangement she had before, we obviously, whatever agreement we enter into is going to be the new agreement. So she can still continue to pay additionally.
Yes.
She needs to pay down the balance.
Yes. Yes.
But that payment arrangement no longer applies.
Okay.
Okay, because that's passed. Okay. So Ms. South, you're going to pay $350 on.
I plan on doing it tomorrow. Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to mark my file that you're going to pay that on the 25th. And then by May 5th, you're going to pay what, your $1,700 or about $1,800?
Yes, sir. $1,712.
All right. All right. So May 5th, you're going to pay $1,712. All right. Let me ask you this. Did Hawk take your application?
No, they pretty much halted. They said, I have to get either a promissory note, or I have to pay that balance down, pay the $2,800 down before they assist. So, yeah.
Okay, I got you. So they want some agreement that you reached with the landlord or something that,
or
that
by
would allow the amount in excess of the $3,000 to be paid in some fashion.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Or I have to have the help from, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. So if you can talk with your management and see if they're willing to do that. I realize you've had a previous conditional order dismissal, but at least the worst they can say is no to you, right?
Right.
And then we're back in the same boat. So reach out, see if you can work something out along those lines. That way, at least maybe $3,000 can come in, and then you can figure out how to get this other part down. Okay.
Yes, sir. And I'm trying, and I mean, I'm doing, but thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's okay. I realize you're trying. Sometimes we try and we look up and we think we haven't gotten anywhere, but you're at least trying to keep yourself from going further in the hole. And that sometimes that's part of the process additionally. Okay?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Haverhill on Clark versus Jerome Taylor.
Yes. Good morning, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
All right. And there's Mr. Taylor. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I think I'm okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, we are showing rent to retain in the amount of $2,770, attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170, for a total of $2,940.
All right. And so he is directly under 3,000. I have a note. He had an appointment with Hawk on April 21st. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
And they're waiting on documents from the tenant and the leasing office. And so they would go ahead, sir.
I submitted all the documents I needed for Hawk.
Okay.
And same with DHS. So I'm just waiting back to hear from them.
Okay. So you also have a DHS. All right. So how many people are in your unit?
Just me.
Okay. So that's about 410 of this amount. How much your monthly rent is? Around 1310. Is that right?
1335.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. I need you to fill out in your packet the rental assistance form. Put what agencies and other things that you're applying to on that form. Get that to the court by next Wednesday. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So that's the first thing. The next thing is, so here's what's going to happen. By the time you come back before me, the balance is going to be over the 3,000 cap for Hawk. Okay. So my question to you is, between now and say the 7th of May, what can you pay?
Between now and the 7th, I can pay at least $400 on the rearage. And with the May rent coming up, I wouldn't be able to pay that in full until after the 12th with the current income status.
All right. So I get how you did your math. All right. Oh my goodness. Everybody, I have to stop for a moment because waving at me in the screen is Judge Slay. The famous Judge Slay is there, the FOC. Hello, Judge Slay.
Hi, Judge. How you doing? Good morning.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I heard your voice as I was walking by, and so I had to stop and say hi.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. And I will say, Ms. Mazur is with you, and I'll just take a moment. The setup of the friend of the court being in our landlord-tenant hearings was your idea. It is working out fantastically for everybody, and you deserve all the credit in the world for making that happen because it's helped us with a number of cases. So,
Sarah is fantastic. Thanks for letting us be a part of your docket. And as Hannibal Smith would say, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes, indeed. I'm still trying to get Miss Mazur as a Maryland terrapin to take down that Michigan thing in the back, but she won't do it.
Just hold her in contempt.
Thanks,
everyone. Sorry to interrupt.
Not a problem. Take care. All right. So, sir, here's what's going to happen. I get what your math was.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be looking at the sort of full number. So if that makes any sense to you. So what I've got right now is you're at about $2,940. Your monthly rent, you said it was $1,335 or something?
Yes.
All right. So $1,335. And so when I do my math, if I'm doing it correctly, I'm looking at coming into May, a total amount of about $4,275. Got that? And I'm not including any late fees that might kick in. I'm just looking at that number. And in order for Hawk to pay, which is going to be the big balance, I've got to get this number back to the $3,000 range.
All right.
You okay? So if you're going to pay $400, and then that you'll pay that by when, sir?
I can pay that by the 30th.
All right. So pay that $400 by the 30th. And then you said by the 12th, how much do you think you can pay?
The 12th, I can pay the full $1,335 for May.
Okay. All right. I
As
got
long
you.
as the rearage gets taken care of, I should be okay going forward.
So Your Honor, may I
Right.
suggest that he just pays May's rent so we can keep the arrears below that?
Right. Well, that's
But
what
I
I'm
want-
trying to make sure that happens, but he won't have that until the 12th.
Correct. And then late fees, I know they will tack on by then. So
I got you. I get it. I'm not great at math, but I think I got it worked out in my head, kind of. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll adjourn you out until the 8th. Let's make sure that 400 goes in. All right. And also that to see, I think if you got your documents in, then they're going to be waiting on documents from the landlord. Let's see where Hawk is at that point, and then see what we can arrange to try to get you all caught up. Okay.
My client,
So
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
my client does indicate that I did ask if she has been in communication with Hawk for a request of documents, and she indicates that to her knowledge, she has not received anything from Hawk. So I would just ask that the defendant just maybe communicate to Hawk that our management is not aware of any documents requested, because if that's going to be the delay, I would rather just get ahead of it beforehand.
Yeah, no, I got you. And so we'll do that. And then Ann, because since we don't have a person here, which I'll say again is just a travesty, but can you send an email maybe to Amy or somebody just indicating that the landlord is indicating they haven't heard anything? So this note they sent us doesn't do me any good if the landlord doesn't know.
Yes. Thank you, Judge.
All right. So do that, Mr. Taylor. And then what'll happen is we'll see you on the 8th. We'll see exactly where we are, and hopefully we can get this all taken care of somehow. All right.
all righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Haverhill on Clark versus Lewis Wall.
Bonnie Haddad for the plaintiff.
Okay.
How you
Yes, he
doing?
is. Okay, Mr. Wall. Oh, there you are. All right. How are you, sir?
Good.
All right. All right. What is the amount owed?
I am showing rent to retain in the amount of $3,925, attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170, for a total of $4,095.
All right. All right. Mr. Wall, how are you intending on getting that paid?
One thing I want to address is my paper says 2,500.
Okay, so I bet you're looking at the complaint, and right, your complaint was at 2,500, but when you go down to the bottom, that's through March.
Okay.
So your April rent has kicked in.
Okay. All right. I could.
Okay.
I could.
All right.
To ask about if I could approach those same services like the emergency fund and see if they can assist, and the other SOS fund.
Right. Okay. Have you applied through DHS yet or no?
No, I reached out to another one, at a shelter service, and I think they were just telling me that at that time I didn't qualify because it was I explained about my medical bills that were backed up and said it was something else you couldn't use that for their service.
Okay. So have you called Hawk yet?
Yes, those was about medical bills that didn't apply or wouldn't help out or whatever.
Okay. So they're saying they can't help you?
Yes. Well, they couldn't go any further when we started talking. When they have they asked me a couple quick questions and said they couldn't go any further.
Because of medical bills?
Well, I was explaining my whole situation, how I got into it, but then they looked at, I just didn't qualify with information.
All right, let me ask you this. Are you working right now or
Yes.
have any source? You are?
Yes.
Well, I don't. All right. I hear what you're saying. That doesn't make much sense to me, but
Well, if I can go into it just for a minute, is that they were taking a large amount of medical expenses out of my check, and that's what slowed down my what I was receiving. And I can show that statement, and that's what I was trying to explain to them, but they said it didn't hold any merit to assist in that area.
So were they saying that really that you wouldn't be able to afford the apartment if they're taking this out?
Yeah, because it was at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you this, because this doesn't.
And I can show the documentation too.
No, I got you. So you haven't applied yet through DHS?
No.
All right. I want you to do that, okay? Do that right away. It may not be much. How many people are in your apartment? Just you?
Yes.
All right. So but that's still 400 we can maybe get. And then you've applied through SOS. I'm a little bit concerned if they're saying that because somebody's deducting something from your check, that all of a sudden creates a problem. But I mean, I get it on one side. All right. So, did they give you any other agencies or places to apply, like MAP or anything like that?
No, I think they might have did the same when the DHS was on, when I think they said that day. There was no other ones that I know about.
Because there's another program. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to call Hawk back, and without going into great detail on it, the other program has a higher income threshold, but their sustainability also, I think, is affected by that. So call back and ask Hawk, are there any other programs you can apply to?
Okay.
Okay. And then between now and the 8th, is there any amount that you can pay over to the landlord?
Yes. Between 9 and 8th, I can pay 15.
You can pay 1,500?
Yes.
But okay, so if I put you can pay 1,500 by the 7th.
Yes. Before the 7th.
Okay. So get that paid to the landlord.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. If at worst, if you do that, we'll click away at that balance. Okay. And then if we can find something else, maybe Hawk could click in. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Or try to anyway.
And then I do have all the supporting medical documents if anyone needs to see how they started.
I'm sorry?
I do have the supporting documents to show how the check got affected and when it got hit.
No, I got you. Okay. I believe you. But let's see what we can try to work out. So I'm going to adjourn this to the 8th of May, 2026 at 1 p.m. Okay, that's an in-person hearing, and I know you know where we are because you're in our access point. All right, so you just come down to the courtroom the next time.
Okay.
All right, and we'll see where we are, but make sure to get that 1,500 in, so then we can see where we can go from there. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough. 2 quick questions. What was the amount that you gave out at the bottom? Was it for what?
It was $4,095.
$4,095. Okay, all right. And also, does anybody know anybody who's hiring? Anybody? Anybody?
Well, you know what? I appreciate you asking. I'd love to have a job service here, but I don't. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Wall. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You take care.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Hey, somebody might have said yes. I got to give him.
I mean, I give him credit. It takes courage to ask that question.
It does
under these circumstances.
All right, Haverhill on Clark versus Morgan Ivory.
Yes, Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
Gotcha.
Morgan Ivory, they have not checked in. You may proceed. You've previously been sworn.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Plaintiff moves for a default judgment for possession. Rent to retain is $6,435. Attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $6,605 due and owing through the end of this month. We are seeking a writ date of 5/4/2026. No money judgment is entered. To my knowledge, the defendant is not a minor, incapacitated, or in the military.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days.
I'm sorry, may I interrupt 1 second? I'm so sorry.
Yes, please do.
I think maybe something got missed in the emails. That case was supposed to have been dismissed. I apologize.
Morgan Ivory?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
that is
you better. Okay, thank you. All right. So we will
submit a dismissal.
stretch this out. Case is dismissed without prejudice. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Haverhill on Clark versus Rico Crawford
Rania Haddad for the plaintiff.
and Shanice Tripp.
Morning.
Oh, good morning, Tripp. How are you?
I'm well. How are you this morning?
I think I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Nobody ever cares about the judge, but that's okay. All right. All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
We are seeking rent to retain in the amount of $5,441, attorney fees and costs in the amount of $170 for a total of $5,611. That's $5,611.
All right. All right. Ms. Tripp,
Yeah.
how are you intending on getting that thing?
Okay. So I filled out the SCR. So that was on the 22nd. I'm waiting back for that. And I contacted Hawk. So, I have to have the balance down to like 3,000. So, and I have Friends Indeed also. So I'm waiting on all three of those, things to see what Friends Indeed want to do or if SCR will help. But then I will also have 1,800 by the 3rd of May.
All right. Okay. So you'll have 1,800 by the 3rd.
Yes.
And your monthly rent is about $850. So that's great because that'll maybe take away 1,000.
Okay.
Effectively on that amount, and then we got to figure out the rest of that. Okay. With the SER, how many people are in your unit?
4.
4. Okay. What, you and 4 kids? Is that?
It's me and 3 kids. Well, 2 adults. I'm sorry, 2 adults because he's 20. I'm sorry.
Right.
He's
I was
20.
Say,
he's 20.
Yeah,
2 adults and 2
I'm
children.
not good at math, but that didn't work.
So it's 2 adults and 2 children. I'm sorry.
2. Okay. So 4 people?
Yes, sir.
All right. But I may make an order that she's got to go home and count the people because I don't think she knows.
See, I'm at work. I'm on 16 hours. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. Okay, so just so you know, the max award that DHS will give you about $740. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the first thing on that.
Okay.
And then, so that's the maximum amount. You got to get with Hawk. You got to get under 3,000, and then you have to see what Friends Indeed may do.
Yes.
Okay. So you contacted Hawk. Did they give you an appointment date?
No, she took all my information. She talked to me and my son, and she just said because of the balance, if I could get that 2,000 paid, then she said that they will be able to give me an appointment to help because their cap is 3,000. So that's why I contacted Friends Indeed. But if they can't help me, I'll have 1,800. So
no, I got you. But
yeah,
that doesn't make any sense with what they're telling me because they're supposed to give you an appointment regardless. But okay. So do this because I don't know what I'm gonna have to start yelling at some people, and I really don't want to.
Okay.
All right. Well, because it's confusing for you, confusing for me and the landlord because they're telling us one thing and then they're not doing that for people. And it's okay if I'm not going to give you an appointment, but just tell me that's not what you're going to do.
Exactly.
And then I could deal with that. But let's do this. Get the 1,800 paid by the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
See exactly then where the figure is. We ought to be about 1,000 down from where we are now, not including late fees that click in. There's a form that came in your packet called a rental assistance form.
Yes.
Fill that out. Put your SER tracking number on there and that you've contacted Hawk and you're waiting on Friends Indeed. Just put that on the form Submit that to the court by Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And then I'll adjourn this out to the 8th of May, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, so somebody will need to be here. Okay?
1 p.m. I'll be there.
Okay. And then we'll figure out exactly where we're going to go from here. At least by that point, we'll have the numbers stagnant and figure out how maybe we can get to that $3,000 cap.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And you're welcome. And on that other email that you're sending, can you just add on there that the court's understanding is that appointments would be set regardless of where they were, that they would at least be an appointment after the initial screening, particularly where there's a representation that she may be able to get under the 3,000. That makes sense? Okay. I just want clarification from them because I think you're just telling people stuff. All right.
Just as a side note, Your Honor, this case was filed in the name of Rico Crawford as well. So in the event that we are going to facilitate some type of a resolution document, Rico Crawford needs to be present in order to sign off, and Ms. Tripp cannot sign off on his behalf to any resolution document. And I just don't want him to be adversely affected. I'm going to assume that he's her 20-year-old son.
Yes. He's in school, so that's why he couldn't come today.
Okay.
But I understand.
He's in school?
Yes.
Is that what he told you? Or you know that?
He better not be lying. I don't need nothing extra. He better not be lying.
I got one of those. I don't know if he's in class, but I get you. All right.
I'm about to check his location.
Oh boy. I didn't want to get him in trouble. I'm going to blame it on counsel.
I'm gonna tell him.
The reason you're checking is because of something she said.
Yes,
right.
I'm gonna definitely tell him
that. That's okay. We're the bad guy anyway, so.
No.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tripp. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And then I have Haverhill on Clark versus Hitchings, Haverhill on Clark versus Taylor. Those matters are dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice.
Yes.
And I think that may be it for you.
Oh, well, it's been a good morning. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, it has. All right.
Thank you. We appreciate you as always. Have a good one, everyone.
All right. Take care. We'll send that form over to you.
She already did, actually. So I'm not going to make any comments as to how easy it is to us. I'm thinking there's like a chart, just like for the what was it? The COVID relief.
No, it's nothing like that.
Yes, no, this is a little less simpler, but yes.
This is just really simple.
We'll go with Judge Simpson is brilliant. That works.
Pardon me.
Okay. Hold on one moment.
Oh, this might be redundant.
Ma'am, you're trying to get our attention?
Hi, yes, pardon me. I just want to say, please excuse my tardiness. I had a time at 8:30 today, and I was wondering if I could get
What's your name?
My name is J.L. Brewer.
That was one of the defaults, yeah.
That was a default. And do I have the file?
It is.
It's Mr. Dodd's case, yes. Hang on one moment. We're going to have to.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, I do not have the file.
We don't have the file. All right. So here's what I'll do without the file. I have a note. This was the one I had a note from. Did you get employee verification or employer verification information over to Hawk?
I filled it out, but my manager, it didn't get there in time. So I have the papers, everything filled out with the number, email, and verification. It just didn't get there on the specific date.
Okay. So you have it?
Yes, I have it. Mm-hmm.
Have you sent it over?
I was going to take it up there, actually.
To SOS or to Hawk?
To DHS because, well, actually, I'm sorry. I applied for two. I applied for DHS and Hawk. Hawk, I talked to Miss Alicia yesterday, and and she sent over the verification, but she needed his email. So I sent over the email yesterday. And she, so that was yesterday. So we were trying to get it done before today, but it didn't happen that way.
Okay, it's okay. I'm just trying to make sure. The last note I have is that they were waiting on employer verification to determine your eligibility.
Yes. So
has that now gotten that information that you were to provide, or that's gotten to
yes,
SOS?
yes, since as of yesterday.
And then DHS, you've also applied to.
Yes, I applied to DHS as well. They said because they needed verification, but I did the verification didn't get there in time, so I have to reapply. So I was going to reapply to see whatever they can get.
Okay. All right, I gotcha.
So Judge, I'm just going to make this easier for everyone. The plaintiff withdraws their motion or their default judgment for possession, and will accept an adjournment for 5/8 at 1 o'clock so that she can get the documentation.
That's what I was gonna vacate the judgment I entered in any event. And so, ma'am, I'm going to adjourn your case over to May 8th.
Okay.
2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person proceeding.
Okay.
I'll need you to look in your rental packet, or the summons packet that you have. There's a rental assistance form in there. I need you to fill that out with information on your DHHS application, as well as your Hawk information. Fill that out, put that on there, and file that with the court by next Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you then.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you'll take care of the file. All right. All right. I think finally that's it, Mr. Dodd.
I believe so. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
You do the same.
Tracy Group, LLC versus Megan Davison.
Here I am, Judge. Give me just a second.
Doctor,
Woohoo.
email in the file.
Your Honor, there was an email sent this morning, and I assume you're looking at it right now.
I am. Yeah, okay. All right, I understand it, but I'm presuming you're wishing to proceed with the default.
I am, Judge. With this,
all right,
matter,
raise your right hand.
Sure.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. I was going to say other right hand, but you got it. All right.
I do, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
I'm familiar with, I am Dan Shemke. I am attorney for the Tracy Group. I am familiar with their books and records. And as of today's date, the current amount of rent due is $17,600. There's an additional $275 worth of late fees on top of that for a total due and owing of $17,875. I am not, and my client is not concerned with service fees or court costs at this point. We think it highly unlikely that we're ever going to get paid. And for that reason, we'd like to proceed based on the balance due and owing of $17,875.
Well, except for the fact, counsel, there's a money judgment. Oh boy. Okay.
Judge, here's
what I'm going to have to do. Hold it. They're going to get the adjournment in any event because you've got to correct something. I'm going to adjourn it to my next date, which is May 8, 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'll consider this the first hearing. Counsel, you've got to correct the complaint. I've got a notice to quit, which is a non-payment notice to quit. I have a complaint, which is a termination. They don't match.
I get it, Judge. I get it. And one day.
But the good thing is you can amend the complaint. So rather than having to start all the way over, you can amend the complaint to a non-payment of rent complaint, and then we can proceed on the 8th.
Do I have to file anything other than the non-payment of rent complaint as an amended complaint?
No, you
Judge?
just you could file the non-payment of rent complaint, just indicating at the top that it's an amended complaint, and then effectuate service somehow. So then,
All right.
all right.
I will do, Your Honor. Thank you very much. As always, it's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. You take care.
Take care, Judge. See you next time.
Yes, sir. NKSK Properties LLC versus Ashley Peterson and Asia Riggs and Asia Thunderberg.
I do.
I'm sorry. I'm Ashley Peterson. Those are my names, Brian Riggs here and Asia Jean Thunderbird, and they are not present.
Okay, but you're here.
Because the landlord said to speak to me. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. I'm currently at work. I'm sorry. My name is Ashley Peterson. I'm doing okay. How are you, Judge Simpson?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Can you still hear me? Because I've been getting lost connection this whole time.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Who's here for NKSK Properties?
Good morning, Anna. Majid Kahala.
Okay. So are you an attorney, sir?
No, I'm the landlord.
Okay. Here's what has to happen. The owner of the premises is actually a corporation, so you have to be represented by an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We did not know
that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn. I'm going to indicate that plaintiff needs an attorney. Okay. I'll adjourn this out for 2 weeks. I'm going to adjourn it out to May 8th.
Okay.
At 2026 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person proceeding for both of you. All right. Okay. Make sure, sir, you get an attorney because I can't let you proceed without one. Right. And then, ma'am, you'll need to be there on the 8th at 1 o'clock. All right, folks?
No problem.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Simpson.
All right.
Your Honor, counsel is not present on the last one, but both parties.
Lori Anderson versus Roddy Lyman.
Hi there.
All right. I have the parties. I do not have counsel. Ms. Anderson, do you know where your attorney is?
I don't have counsel on this one.
Oh, I think you do. Oh.
This is not.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I don't know where they're getting this attorney on this. I don't see an attorney either. All right. What's your claim in this case?
Yes, sir. We had an inspection set for April 6th for the township for the certificate of compliance, and they had to cancel because we couldn't get access to the property. So I'm requesting that we were able to get access to be able to.
That's not a health hazard.
I don't know how I can make it a rental without getting the certificate of compliance.
Ma'am, you filed a health hazard complaint.
Well, I need access, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Because we can't get the certificate of compliance.
Well, it's not. I'm going to suggest you get an attorney. Ms. Lyman, I don't need an answer from you at this point.
Judge, can I also say one more thing? I also had a 7-day notice for non-payment of rent for April, and the clerk told me to combine it with this one. I talked to.
I don't know what they told you. I don't have
Robin told me this is also.
I have a health hazard complaint. My clerks are not there to give legal advice to you as to how you should proceed on this. You filed a health hazard. So I don't know what you're talking about in terms of a non-payment, combining it. The complaint that I have on the case is doing a health hazard complaint. Yes, I have a health hazard complaint that's not filled out. I don't. Ms. Anderson, the only thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to give you 2 weeks to get all of this corrected and or dismiss it. You got to figure that out. My clerks are not there to give you legal advice. You have to do that. You have had attorneys in the other cases. I'd suggest that you get one in this one. I'm going to adjourn this out May 8th, 2026, 1 p.m. Thank you. That's an in-person hearing. Thank you. Finish that clock. Okay, I'm done. Court's going to stand in recess. We'll come back and start to 10 o'clock as soon as we get everybody lined up.
Judge, what time is it? It is 10:06.
Contract forfeiture, so it's not.
Turn this matter out May 8th, 2026, 1 p.m. That's my next date. And then we'll see where we go from there. Sir, that is an in-person hearing.
Okay, May 8th at 1 o'clock p.m.
Is it 1?
Yes.
At 1 o'clock, yes.
Okay. And then just confirm the location. I believe it's off of Washington, but just to confirm that location for the
4133 Washington is the court address. We're right next to the sheriff's department.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Freeman. Austin, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care. Showcase Investments versus, is it Jorge Belanga?
Good morning, Your Honor. Jarrett Levine for the plaintiff. And we have a representative of Showcase with us as well.
Hello.
All right. And Berlanga, not present. This is a land contract forfeiture. I don't have, did you guys pay for a second mailing or no?
It's like we did personal service on April 12th.
Yes, I see. Let me see 2. 12th and the 25th. I don't know why my file's marked that way.
I was personally served on the 12th. And I don't know that you do a second mailing. It's not a landlord tenant case. It's land contract forfeiture, so it's not.
I understand that, counsel.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out. All right, I'll let you proceed. Who's going to give me the testimony?
Oh, Andrea Gotcher.
All right. Ma'am, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, counsel.
Thank you. Are you representative of the plaintiff in this case?
Yes.
In what capacity?
I am one of the owners.
You're one of the owners. Are you familiar with the books and records as they relate to the defendant, Jorge Berlanga?
Yes.
Is there a land contract between the parties?
Yes, there is.
Attached to the complaint? Was there a balloon payment that came due at the end of the year?
Yes, on December 31st, 2025.
And you did not receive that payment?
No.
At this time, according to your records, are you showing that the account is due, including unpaid interest, insurance, taxes, and the remaining principal balance to be $205,000 $831.38.
Yes.
And we have costs of $175, Your Honor, for the cost of filing, serving, and the $75 statutory attorney fee.
There.
And with that, we're asking the court to enter a judgment of possession after land contract forfeiture for the total amount of $206,000 and $206,006.38. $206,006.38 would be the total judgment amount. And the proposed judgment would provide that less than 50% of the purchase price has been paid. So a 90-day redemption period would apply, allowing for an order of eviction to issue upon the expiration of 90 days, unless the defendant pays the total amount.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default.
Thank you.
For possession or forfeiture.
Thank you, Your Honor.
British in 90 days. I will sign the order when it is presented.
I'll submit it. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Place Tree Apartments versus Anthony Arman.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Arman, not checked in. This is a health hazard. If you'd like to proceed, you may raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, self you got?
I do. Again, for the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff. Excuse me, Your Honor, as the court indicated, this is an action for health hazard. And as indicated in the demand for possession, there are excessive amounts of fecal matter that have accumulated inside the unit, creating an environment for pestilence to occur, which is a hazard. Your Honor, additionally, this health hazard was issued within months of a previously issued health hazard that the tenant did take steps to correct, but it again fell back into another unsafe condition. Additionally, Your Honor, at least at the time that this notice was issued on March 26th, there was no electricity upon information of belief at the unit. Also, upon information of belief, Your Honor, defendant remains in possession of the unit. Pursuant to the complaint that was filed, Your Honor, we are requesting an immediate order of eviction.
Sure. Grant judgment to the plaintiff for possession by default. Where it would issue immediately.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will submit a judgment with a writ date of today, and then we will get a writ submitted to the court.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evergreen Apartments versus Marcalia Jennings.
Hi.
Your Honor, James Fink for the plaintiff.
Miss Jennings, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Including costs, $3,075.27, 307527.
All right. Miss Jennings, how are you going to get that? Miss Jennings?
I'm here.
Okay. How are you intending on getting that paid?
On May 1st, I'm going to pay $1,100. I get 3 checks in the month of May. I had lost my job, so that's the delay, but I just got a new job.
All right. So your intent is to get yourself caught up in May?
Yeah, there'll probably be a couple hundreds left by the end of May, probably about 500 left, but with my 3 checks in May, I should be able to get it down.
All right. Have you talked to the landlord about that?
Yes.
All right. And what did they say?
Well, she just said good luck in court because I know they don't do payment plans or anything. So I talked to Sydney quite a bit, and I always tell her my game plans on what I plan on doing.
All right. So on May 1st, you're going to pay how much?
$1,100.
All right. I will adjourn this out to, because you're entitled to that by my next date. You may want to, did you contact Hawk or anyone to help you with this, ma'am?
No.
All right. I'm going to suggest that you do. And once you do, fill out the rental assistance form, submit it to the court. You should do that by Wednesday. So I'm going to suggest that you call them because they may be able to help you get yourself caught up. If you pay the $1,100, you're going to be right around the maximum amount they might be able to assist you with.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
It looks from the ledger like she gets 100% rental assistance starting May 1st. So she's only going to go up about 100, maybe 250 with late fees. So if she can get assistance, she can actually get this taken care of.
Got it. Okay. You got that, Ms. Jennings?
Yeah, if I get in touch with Hawk by May 1st, they might pay the balance.
Well, you should call them today.
Okay.
All right. Do you have the number?
Yes.
All right. I want you to call them today.
Okay.
All right. And you put the other one, well, you may be able to get it all caught up anyway, but I'll put that you're going to pay the $1,100 by the 1st. You need to call Hawk right away. That'd be May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. That's in person. Okay, ma'am?
May 8th, 3 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evergreen Apartments versus Christopher Hesterly.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Hesterly, he's here.
Yeah, he was checked in.
He was checked in, but not. All right, I'll pass it. See if.
Thank you.
Come back. Evergreen versus, is it Nokushia? Is it Haralson? And Maurice Rutley.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Okay. And they're both here?
Ms. Harrelson.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there they are.
Rutley.
They're both here.
We are both here.
All right. All right. What is the plaintiff's claim?
Including costs, $2,865.10.
All right. Folks, how are we intending on getting that paid?
Well, we both just started working again. I literally just started working on Tuesday. I plan on making my first payment on the 7th of next month because that's when my first check will be. And I plan on paying it all down. We have ran into a few problems while we've been there, but that hasn't been the problem of us paying. We just both had switched employment at an undesirable time.
Okay. So on the 7th, how much are you going to pay?
I would say we can pay at least $1,500 by the 7th, at least.
All right. Ma'am, is that all correct?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've also been making like little small payments as well, and I've been talking to Hawk, and they gave me some resources to deal with too.
All right. Did you guys contact Hawk?
I did. Yes. The representative that I spoke to told me I was a little over with my job when it comes to the requirements that they have for the estimation. I'm sorry, I don't have my words correctly, but she just gave me a better source to call. She gave me some other people to call that can probably help us out. They also just told me to probably put like a small payment down because it was a little more beforehand, but I did pay $500 about a couple weeks ago, and I'll see if I can put a little more down next week to kind of bring that down as much as possible.
Okay, so next week you can pay some, and then by the 7th, is that the 1,500 number? Is that going to include what you're talking about, Ms. Harrelson?
I believe so.
Okay.
No, that shouldn't include it. I think it might take it out. I was trying to see if he was going to answer.
You were going to see if Rutley was going to answer?
Yeah, we was on this together.
Yeah, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to him. I'll talk to
Okay.
you. Okay,
Yes,
because he just started talking. I didn't know. I wanted to hear what you said. So,
Yes, sir.
All right. So your guys are gonna get at least 1,500 in by the 7th.
Yes, sir.
And then you're gonna contact the other resources, see where you are.
I'm actually going to try to still keep contacting the resources today. I'm at lunch at 12, so I want to keep contacting them by then and then still kind of work on it
See
by
where
next
you
week.
are.
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's what I'll do. I'll adjourn you guys out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. All right. Pay the 1,500. Your rent's going to click in at the 12. So we're only going to net about 3, maybe 2 or 3 off of that. But that'll still put you in the realm that if you get assistance, it can get you guys cleared. Sound good?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
It's okay. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Mr. Rudley. I'll hear from you. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Can I put on a record that we are dealing with a pest problem there?
Okay.
Where like we've been dealing with it since we moved in, and there's been roaches there since we've moved in. They have sent pest control out, but it's still an ongoing problem.
All right. Have you contacted the landlord again about that?
Yes, we've got documentation that we've contacted them.
Well, when's the last time you contacted them?
She would know that because I typically have her contact them.
She left, I think.
I'm sorry about that.
She dropped off. Okay, well, Mr. Fink now knows. He'll let them know, and then we'll try to see where we are.
Okay.
When we get back on the 8th. All right, sir?
That sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Glencoe Hills versus Angela Stoker.
Sink for the plaintiff.
Angela Stoker. She is not here. If you'd like to proceed, raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, this is an action for non-payment of rent. Angela Stoker owes $455.88 in rent, costs of $171 for a possession only judgment of $626.88. Requested default in that amount with a writ to issue if it is not paid or she doesn't move on or before May 4th.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glencoe Hills versus Jerome Adams.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Jerome Adams. They are not here. You may proceed, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Adams owes on a non-payment of rent case $3,074.69 in rent. The costs are $171 for a total possession only judgment of $3,245.69 with a writ to issue after May 4th.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue 10 days.
Thank you.
Gulfside Lake 1 and 2 versus Bonnie Jacques and Brandon Jacques.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Hey, the Jacques usually show up. Okay. Hey, neither are present. You may proceed.
This is also a non-payment of rent case, Your Honor. These defendants owe $2,790.85 in rent. The costs are $214 for a total possession only judgment of $3,004.85.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Gulfside Lake 1 and 2 versus Alicia Sarr.
James Fink for the plaintiff. I see she's here.
Hello?
Oh, there. Okay.
Well, sorry, my camera's not working.
No, it is.
Oh, it is? Oh, I can't see anything.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we can see you. We saw your smile right away. That's how I knew it was you. Okay. All right. What is the plaintiff's claim?
$1,740.24. 1740.24.
All right. And Ms. Saar? Did she drop?
Yes.
No, she's there.
No, she's still here. Okay. How are you intending on getting that paid?
So I'm paying down about 400 at least every week. So I plan on having it paid by the 16th, and then I did about 260 this morning.
Okay, so you paid 260 this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, when's the next time you can make a payment?
Tomorrow.
All right, and how much are you going to pay tomorrow?
At least 400.
Okay, so you're going to pay 400. That's by the 25th. All right. And then after that, do you know when your next payment's going to be?
Yeah, at least 500 at least every Saturday. So on the 2nd next.
Okay, so 500 on the 2nd. Okay, I'll stop there because that'll get me a little over what your monthly rent is. So at least we're staying even, and we'll figure this out. I'll adjourn this out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. What I'm going to suggest you do is contact plaintiff's counsel's office and see if you can work out some conditional dismissal to get this paid off.
Okay. Counsel.
Okay. That makes sense.
Thank you.
Did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And just make sure to make those payments, okay? And then we'll see where we are on the 8th.
Thank you.
Have a blessed weekend, Miss Seth.
You too.
Gulfside Lake 1 and 2 versus, is it BK Diarra?
Yeah, Bakai Diarra.
Say it again.
Bakai Diarra.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it when I said it. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm doing okay, sir. All right. And Mr. Fink, what is the claim in this case?
$2,959.30.
All right. Sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm gonna be getting assistance from Hawk and DHS. They helped me out last time, so I'm gonna be getting assistance from them.
Okay. Have you already applied?
Yeah. I already applied.
To which one? DHS?
Both of them.
All right. Did Hawk give you an appointment?
No, Hawk didn't give me an appointment.
When did you call him?
I called them yesterday.
Okay, because I don't have anything on the sheet they give me because I don't have a person here. We can't check.
Okay.
Nicely played.
What do you say?
Nicely played, Your Honor.
You like that? All right. So, sir, here's what I'll do. In your rental packet, there's a sheet called a rental assistance form. You'll need to fill that out with the information regarding Hawk and DHS.
Okay.
I'm going to have to take you at your word that you contacted them and did whatever. I'll adjourn this out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing.
Okay.
Between now and then, is there anything that you can pay? Because with your monthly rent, by the time we come back, it's going to kick you over the $3,000 cap.
So right now I'm currently unemployed, but I'm supposed to be getting employed soon, like maybe in the next 2 weeks or so. So yeah, that's just been the current situation that's been going on.
And they're likely not going to do anything until you're employed because you've got to show some type of sustainability for this apartment.
Okay.
Fill out those forms, get them to the court by Wednesday, and we'll see you May 8th at 3.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I?
Yes, sir.
I see Ms. Hicks is here and she's at the courthouse at the access point. Her case has been dismissed.
Oh, okay. All right. You hear that, Ms. Hicks? Let me call it so that...
I don't even think you have it, Judge. Well,
No,
it's
I
in your
did.
dismissal stack.
Yeah. Glencoe Hills versus Ollie Hicks. Ms. Hicks? Oh, we can't hear you. Hold on the space bar on the computer. Okay, there you are. Hello, Ms. Hicks.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Your case is dismissed.
Oh, praise God. Oh my goodness. If I didn't have this cane, I would, oh my God. Oh, thank you, Father God. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right.
Ms. Hicks, I tried to send you a text from the phone number we had.
I'm sorry, my phone isn't on.
Okay, well, that's probably a good thing, but
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all set, Ms. Hicks. You have a great, blessed weekend, okay?
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful, awesome, blessed weekend also.
All right. Take care. All right. Gulfside Lake 3 versus Erica Hall.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Okay. There you are. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I think I'm okay. All right. How much is Ms. Hall owe?
$2,436.58.
Okay. How are we going to get this paid this time?
Well, I made a payment last night for $240, and I made one this morning for $135. And I'm waiting on my income tax to come back. But next week I can pay $500, and then it might be more than that. But me doing hair if I get more clients. But I can definitely get it taken care of.
Okay, so you're going to pay $500 by next week sometime?
Yeah. And possibly more, but I just want to say $500 to stay safe.
Okay, and your monthly rent, probably should know, is $11.79. All right. Well, somehow or another, you always come through it. I know you need the weekends, and you can't exactly pin it. So I get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to journey you out to my next date, May 8th, 2026, 3 p.m. in person.
Okay.
Get as much in there, and then we'll see where we go from there. How about that?
All right.
All right. Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
He's the bottom.
Yeah, go. Second.
That's it.
Gulfside Lake 3 versus Nathaniel Caldwell.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Oh, there he is. Mr. Caldwell. How are you, sir? You're muted.
Oh, there we go.
All right. And what is the claim in this case?
$1,894.22.
All right, Mr. Caldwell, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm gonna make a payment on the 29th. That's when my next paycheck hits. I do have I did talk to Hawk. They told me to call back on the 1st, and I did put in for SER too. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
All right. So Hawk told you to call back on the 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And how much are you going to pay on the 29th?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at my check yet, but I'm going to try to pay at least $1,000 on it.
Okay.
Or more.
Or at least $1,000. Right. I understand. So you pay $1,000. Your monthly rent is about that plus a little more. No, your monthly rent is about right that. So if you get that paid, we're not going to be any worse off. Hawk, you got to call back on the 1st. You got an SER in. Okay, so sir, regarding the SER, in your packet that you received is a rental assistance form. You need to fill that out and get that to the court by this upcoming Wednesday, okay?
Okay. Do I just bring it up there?
Yep, just bring it up there. Make sure it's all filled out. and they'll be more than happy to take it, okay?
Alrighty.
All right, and I'll adjourn this case out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m.
Okay.
In person. All right, Mr. Caldwell?
Alrighty.
All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, sir.
Gulfside Lake versus Michelle Gobo.
James Sink for the plaintiff.
Hi, this is Michelle Goble.
And also Marilyn Goble. All right. Okay. What's the claim?
$2,129.94.
All right. Ms. Goble, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Yeah, so I've been on a medical leave due to a flare up in chronic conditions. So I've only gotten like 66% versus like 100% pay. So I'll make $500 next Wednesday, and I go back to work on the 1st. So I'll start getting like 100% starting that day again.
Okay, so you're paying $500 on the 29th.
Yes.
All right, then you're going to go back to work. And gotcha. Okay, your monthly rent is $1,227. So this figure is going to go up a little bit, but if you pay the $500, it'll be about $7. Have you talked to Hawk or SOS at all?
I have not, no. So hard.
All right. Here's what I want you to do, Ms. Goble.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you give them a call? Okay. To see if what they can do is sort of help you over the hump of this. And then it sounds to me like you'll be in good shape and you can proceed on and pay everything, right?
Yes.
That's where you're trying to.
Yes.
All right.
About mid-May,
Yeah.
I want to be caught up. So
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so let's try that. Do you have their number?
I do not know.
Okay, it's probably on some of your paperwork, but let me give it to you if you've got something to write with.
Okay. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, it's 734 961 1999.
1999. Thank you. Awesome.
All right, you're welcome. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll adjourn your case out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. in person.
3.
All right.
All
You
right.
do that and then check everything, and then hopefully we can get you there. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're
Judge.
welcome. All right. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Then we have Gulfside Lakes versus, this is a recall, Bonnie, Josh, and Brandon.
I'm
here.
plaintiff.
But then Brandon showed up
I see
because I
that.
was a bit surprised he wasn't here.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. So I'm not going to enter the judgment. Mr. Jacques, the amount that you would owe is $3,004.85.
Correct.
All right. So how are you going to get that paid, sir?
I'm waiting on a payment from a client. I should have that sometime next week, which would allow me to settle most of that balance.
All right. So if you get this check, how much do you think you can pay?
At least $2,400.
Okay. So 2,400 by sometime next week. I'll put by the 30th, maybe.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay. So we'll do that. You'll be a little bit short, and then we're coming into the next month, and your monthly rent is about $1,100. So we'll try to figure that out. So get the 24 paid. I'm going to adjourn your case out to May 8th, 2026 at 3 p.m. in person. Okay, sir?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you. Then this is another recall, I think. We thought we had them. Evergreen Apartments versus Christopher Hesterly.
James Sink to the plaintiff.
They never signed back in, so you may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an action for non-payment of rent The defendant owes $926.70 in rent. The costs are $172 for a total of $1,098.70. Possession only.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount, any amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. And I have Evergreen versus Omar Martinez, Evergreen versus Jasmine Ford, and Evergreen versus Tracy Coleman. Those matters are dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice. I think that's it, sir. All right. Good seeing you.
You also, sir. Have a great weekend.
You do same. And that's it for us for the morning. Court stands in recess.
Step inside Judge Cedric Simpson's courtroom, where excuses don't last long and the truth comes out fast. From shocking criminal cases to tense confrontations, every hearing brings real consequences and powerful rulings. When the judge speaks, everyone listens.